Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Danstan Omari, one of the top lawyers in this country, was on K24 earlier today. And Danstan Omari made a statement which is causing serious discomfort in Kenya Kwanza. And the statement actually paints the true picture and situation in Kenya Kwanza. I want you to pay very close attention to what Danstan Omari is saying, because I want us to do a critical analysis of that particular statement, because it actually mirrors what I've been saying on this platform, although it's putting it much better. Pay close attention to Danstan Omari before we proceed.
There was no Mount Kenya voter who voted for the current president, William Ruto. All the Mount Kenya voters voted against Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. And I did say here that the deputy president, Gachagua, knows that very well, that that region, he must take control over that region. And he has already started taking control over that region. The president, who was very frequently in Mount Kenya region, has found it safer to be now more frequent in Western Kenya and other regions. Gachagua will be a William Ruto of 2018. He's building his base. And that is why he's bringing Akina Kanini Kega, he's bringing everybody, and they are saying that we must talk of the same language. Mutai Kahiga, the governor for Nyeri, is not an idiot. He has put it very clearly that marriages are normally situational. They can be dissolved. And the reason as to why 7 cabinet members of parliament went to Mount Kenya region, 13 PSS went to Mount Kenya region, must have been a big fight. A big fight for Gachagua to say, I am consolidating my place. The other day, when Gachagua, a seasoned, the deputy president, a seasoned politician, an intellectual passe, a former administrator, is normally in the political tone, while the president has gone to be a state officer, is because he is trying to put a base for himself.
Now, that's Danstan Omari. And the speech and the statement is very clear. I doubt if there's anyone on this platform who is going to disagree with the statement by Danstan Omari. But before we do the critical analysis, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two. Click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Let us get back into the main issue and dive in directly. And I want us to just focus on Danstan Omari's statement and the general situation in Kenya Kwanza as we speak. The first thing Danstan Omari is talking about is Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta's factor. For those who've been following this channel, I've always maintained, for example, that the marriage between Ruto and Uhuru was not going to last, because there was nothing ideologically which was binding Uhuru and Ruto, and indeed, they fell out. I don't see anything which is actually going to bind the Kikuyu nation and Ruto. The truth of the matter, and just like Danstan Omari put it, there are very few people who voted for William Ruto in the mountain because they loved them, because they loved him. Very few. Majority of people who voted for William Ruto in the mountain voted for Ruto because of two things. The first one, which was the main, was Raila Odinga factor. You know, Raila Odinga and the Kikuyu nation, for those who follow the politics, they hardly run the same line. The Kikuyu nation have always been programmed to believe that Raila Odinga is actually a devil. So when Uhuru Kenyatta entered into the handshake with Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta did not really convince them to support Raila Odinga. Instead, they rebelled against Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto, being William Ruto, saw an opportunity and he pounded. And that's how William Ruto managed to get the support of the mountain. The truth is, those Kikuyu nation who voted for Ruto, if you ask them, they didn't vote for Ruto because they love Ruto. They voted for Ruto because of three main things, which is rebellion against Raila, rebellion against Uhuru. They voted against Raila, and probably William Ruto's money. And that is the fear which is currently in William Ruto's side. And that's why you are seeing William Ruto, just like Danstan Omari is putting it, William Ruto is now focusing more on Western Kenya and the coastal region. Previously, between 2017 and 2022, William Ruto would conduct, let's say, 7 activities in a week. 5 of them would be in the mountain. Today, that's not the case because it's not so sure whether those factors, that is Uhuru and Raila factor, will still hold in 2022. So that's the first situation in Kenya Kwanza. The second thing which is clearly in Kenya Kwanza is mistrust. Mistrust is catching up with them very, very fast. That's why you saw when the Kikuyu nation were missing out or missed out on the Yela nominations, they easily and quickly went and regrouped and figured out, okay, these Kalenjin MPs and leaders are trying to lock our people out. It could have been a good intention by the Kalenjin nation, but for them, because of mistrust, they read something else. And because they read something else, they went, they regrouped, and then when they came to parliament, they voted the way they wanted. So basically, that mistrust is going to lead to what is called politics of betrayal. And politics of betrayal is part of the game in this country. Raila Odinga campaigned for Mwai Kibaki while Mwai Kibaki on a wheelchair. When Mwai Kibaki took over, his team betrayed Raila Odinga. Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto case. William Ruto literally delivered Uhuru Kenyatta's second term in office. What happened? Uhuru betrayed Ruto. That trend will continue. Someone is going to betray someone here. And that mistrust is catching up in Kenya Kwanza very fast. So unless, of course, Ruto is different from Uhuru. Uhuru failed to avert it. Ruto can avert it. But we can't rule out the possibility of mistrust, which is likely to lead to politics of betrayal. For example, if you listened to Mutahi Kahiga, he kind of alluded to the fact that William Ruto is already betraying the mountain. Mount Kenya leaders are in agreement that their counterparts from the Kalenjin nation tried to shortchange them. So which means politics of betrayal and mistrust. Number 3, the third thing which is also part of this dilemma in Kenya Kwanza is Mount Kenya demands. Most of William Ruto's key allies from Rift Valley believes very strongly that the mountain are demanding too much. And they give the example of the cabinet. They got good number of cabinet secretaries. They are also talking of the nominations to parliament. They got quite a number of them. And even the permanent secretaries, they got quite a number of them. But there is the question of Mount Kenya demands versus Kenya. Which politics should Ruto play? Should he continue appeasing the mountain? Or should he appear to be a nationalist? And of course, William Ruto also understands that without Mount Kenya votes, there is nowhere he would have been closer to the presidency. And that's why Rigathi Gachagua actually reminded him and those who had ears to listen to him that People are complaining that Mount Kenya received several appointments, and he told them it will continue like that so that it becomes a lesson to Kenyans next time that if you are voting, then you need to vote so that those votes will count to the number of appointments you are getting. So for me, I was reading Rigathi Gachagua as sending a message to Ruto that as much as you want to appear national, don't interfere with Mount Kenya allocation. If they are entitled to 3 based on the numbers they got, give them 3, but don't try to get into Mount Kenya to give to other parts of the country. So Mount Kenya demands is also something which is here. Ruto would want a situation where the country is given all those. Remember, this is exactly what happened between Ruto and Uhuru. During Ruto and Uhuru's regime, Ruto insisted on rewarding the Kalenjins. Uhuru Kenyatta had that obligation of being a statesman. So let us wait and see how that's going to also unfold. Then the fourth thing, which is also worrying William Ruto and his brigades, is a united Mount Kenya. Let me ask you this question. Who do you think is likely to benefit from a united Mount Kenya? If Mount Kenya today were to unite under one leader, who do you think is likely to benefit? For me, the person who is likely to benefit is William Ruto. So the person who is likely to benefit is not William Ruto. A divided Mount Kenya is good for William Ruto's politics. In fact, that's what helped Ruto in 2022. If, for example, Mount Kenya were united around Uhuru Kenyatta, do you think Ruto would have controlled it? Or if they were united around a specific leader, let's say they left Uhuru and then united around a particular leader. So a united Mount Kenya is not good for Ruto's politics. So Ruto would want a situation where the mountain is really not united, so that their allegiance will now be to one man, William Ruto. But as long as Mount Kenya is going to be united, the way they are trying under Rigathi Gachagua, so it means their allegiance will no longer be to Ruto, but that allegiance will be transferred to Rigathi Gachagua, which means William Ruto will now go to the mountain through Rigathi Gachagua. And moving forward, we are likely to start seeing another leader emerging as the political face from the mountain. And lastly, there is the fear of the unknown, the Kalenjin mafia. And that's something which is very, very serious. And the rebellion which was actually witnessed was witnessed because of the fear of Kalenjin mafia, that the Kalenjin mafia might actually emerge. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. Bye-bye.